Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so any products that I use, you can purchase from me at the address at the top of the screen. Today's project, if I do say I love this one, is using Joy for Life. I use this adorable little piggy, or piglet, with a coffee cup. And I thought it was perfect for these instant coffees from Starbucks. They come, you can get much bigger ones, but this is an 8-pack that I got, I think, for $3.99 at Marshall's. And there's a whole bunch of them, 8 of them in there that look like this. All right, and this one is the French roast, but they have all different kinds. I think they have Pikes something or something like that. I don't know. I drink tea, so I don't know, but I thought this was the perfect thing for this little pig with the coffee cup on it. But you could also put treats in here or anything like that. I wrapped it in a 3x3 bag. It was a lip and tape bag, which has the sealings, the film strip of glue on it to seal it, but I just cut that off, and then I gathered it, folded it a little bit because I didn't need the whole 3x5, and just tied it with some sheer real red ribbon and just put it in here. But this would go nicely with some treats too. Alrighty. So I used the Joy for Life stamp set. I used a rectangle stitch dies for this rectangle. I used this Scalloped Contour dies for this border here, which kind of makes it look like a chimney, I thought. And I also used Gingerbread and Peppermint Designer Series paper, which this also has a stamp set and a die. But it doesn't, these don't have dies, unfortunately. And I popped up the pig. I fussy cut him and popped him up, but you could just stamp him right on this rectangle if you don't want to mess with fussy cutting. But the great thing about fussy cutting is when you put it on a white background, you really can't really see too much if you make a mistake. All right, so this is Gingerbread and Peppermint 6x6 Designer Series paper. I think this is adorable. And of course the dies will cut out some of these ornaments. Okay, now what we need. Okay, what I did was I took a 1-inch wide by 8.5-inch long piece of basic white cardstock, and I used this die from the Scalloped Contours dies, and I put it down as far as I could get it to the bottom and cut it. I taped it, and then I picked it up, and then I put it back. It's not going to be exactly perfect, so this comes towards the back anyway. And I cut it again, just like that, to give me this nice long scallop border. Okay, we need a piece of old olive that is 6.5 by 5.5. We need 4 pieces of the DSP, 2 that are 4 1/4 by 1 3/4, and 2 that are 4 1/4 by 3/4, and some basic white for stamping. And we need a rectangle from the rectangle stitched dies, and this one is 2 3/4 by 1 3/8. It is, on the wider ones, it is the second smallest. Okay, and then some basic white for stamping. All right, so let's do our scoring first. I'm going to get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 6.5-inch side. And we're going to score at 1, 3, 4, and 6. Turn it to the 5.5-inch side and score at 1, and that's it. Okay. Now Celebration starts at the same time as the new catalog on August 3rd, which is next Tuesday. And if you would like to become one of my team members, you'll get an extra extra on top of the $125 for $99 in merchandise that you pick. You would get an extra bundle for free. Okay, so my contact information is below if you would like to take advantage of that. All right, now this is what we're going to do. Just excuse this little piece that I cut too short on here. But all we have to do is get rid of this lower rectangle here and cut the rectangle straight and wedge the squares. Okay, so we're going to start with the skinny rectangle on the left hand side and the 1-inch piece on the bottom, and we're going to get rid of this rectangle here and wedge above it. Okay, move to the other side of the rectangle, cut it straight. On the other side of this square, touching this rectangle, we want straight, and then just wedge a piece out of each side of the square. As boxes go, this one is one of the easier ones. Okay, so then this, I'm going to cut straight the edge of this rectangle and then wedge these two squares. Not too bad. Alrighty, so now we want some tear and tape, and we're going to put it on the skinny rectangle close to the score line. I'm just going to take the backing off. I'm going to fold one side over and fold the other side to meet it. So this here is going to be your back. Okay, so we're going to put the sides in and the back, and then we're going to put more tear and tape on the back of the front flap. And then take that off. Make sure your box is nice and squared up, and then fold this in over, and there's your box. Okay, now we need our designer series paper. Okay, so the ones that are 4 1/4 by 1 3/4 are for the front and the back, and I'm going to use liquid glue to glue these on. I don't know if I said this is old Olive Cardstock. I think I did say it in the beginning. And this is 1/8 of an inch border all around. Okay. And then the pieces that are 4 1/4 by 3/4 go on the sides. Okay, now we need our scallop that we cut, and we're going to put it, I'm just going to put it so that there's one middle scallop on the front, just like that. And this might vary depending on how you place your die when you're cutting it, because this one looks a little longer, just a smidge. I must have put this one a little bit higher. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend the two front ones, just make a little crease, and then take it off and just kind of burnish it so that it's nice and straight. Okay, and then we're going to put these on and measure the sides and burnish the sides. Ooh, what did I do? Okay, this one's a little bit long, so we can just cut a piece off, and when we glue it, we'll figure out where we need it. Okay, so I need to just reinforce these folds too. Okay, now we're going to put, I'm just going to put glue up above, don't do it on the ends, but up above the scallops. And then we're going to put the front one, and I'm making it even with the top of the DSP. Okay. Put it along the sides. Make sure everything's nice and even. All right, now we're on the back. I think I like this one better, so that's the one I'm going to let show. I'm just going to snip off the last of this scallop here, and I'm just going to finish gluing it. And just put one down and the other one over it. It's not going to match up perfectly, but that's okay. It's the back. Just hold it a minute. Okay, so now we're going to do some stamping. Okay, we need our whisper white and we need our rectangle. And we're going to stamp our little pig image. I guess he's not a piglet if he already has coffee, but I guess it could be hot cocoa. I have the sentiment season's greetings, and I'm gonna put that right on the bottom. Great. And you could always stamp it and then cut the rectangle out, but I happen to get this one just fine. All right, so let's get our Stampin Blends. Okay, first we're going to use light and dark Petal Pink. Okay, first we're going to use Petal Pink. Sorry, I didn't have one of my lights on. We're going to use the dark Petal Pink, and I'm going to go on the outside of the ears. And then I'm going to basically do the whole outside, edges, that's what I'm looking for, of the actual pig. And on the sides of the belly, I'm going to come out a little bit wider. Okay, and then I'm going to get the light Petal Pink, and I'm going to blend out the rest. Just avoid the coffee cup if you can. I'm going to do the inner ears, and then just color all the rest. You could leave his glasses white, but I see my skin through my glasses, so that's how I want that. Okay, so that was light and dark Petal Pink. Now for the scarf, first I'm going to use the dark real red, and I'm going to do the stripes in the dark real red. Okay, and then I'm going to use light Mossy Meadow to do the rest of the scarf. And then for the coffee cup, for the sleeve, I'm going to do it in dark Crumb Cake. Is this dark? This is light. I'm going to do dark Crumb Cake. And for the cup, I'm going to do dark real red. Okay, and that's it. It's really not hard to color at all. Okay, so now I'm going to fussy cut, and as I said, you can stamp the pig right on here if you want, and then you wouldn't have to fussy cut him. Okay. All right, now I'm just going to glue this, make sure that's the front, and I'm going to center this on here. And I'm going to use both kinds of dimensionals. I'm going to put 2 on the body one on the body and one on the face, and then I'm going to put 2 mini dimensionals on the ears, just because they tend to get bent up sometimes when they're on a box. Okay. Sometimes on a card too, when you put it in an envelope, it gets stuck. Okay. And I'm just going to put this right on there, just like that. Alrighty, now for my coffee. So this is a 3x5, and this is what I was talking about, the lip and tape. This pulls off, and then you can fold it over and close it. But I don't need that, so I'm just going to snip it right off. So you can buy them like this too, but I only buy one type, and then I can use them for either or. Okay, so here's my other 4. I'm going to put it in there. Just gonna fold this behind, and then I'm gonna tie some real red sheer ribbon, which is back in the mini catalog. We had it last year, I believe. There's also double stitched satin, I think it's called. I think they just call it double stitched. But this is my favorite Christmas ribbon. It's easy to tie, and it kind of goes with the cherry cobbler too, if you get either one, because it's sheer. It kind of goes with a couple different of the reds. Okay, and you can of course put whatever gift you want in here. I just thought because it was a little coffee cup, this would be sweet. Oops, I keep catching that back on there. And there you go. There's your little sweet gift. Thank you so much for joining me. I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the like button. You can hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I upload a video. And of course, as I said in the beginning, you can shop for all these supplies starting August 3rd with the address on the top of the screen. And all the measurements will be on my blog, which I have linked below. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.